President Bola Tinubu on Sunday assured Lagos State Governor Babajide SanwoOlu that he was no longer angry with him and that any past grievances had been forgiven. The development followed a meeting with members of the Governance Advisory Council, GAC, who had come to intercede on behalf of the governor and others who have offended the president. Dayo, chairman of the GAC, welcomed the president to Lagos and acknowledged that there had been visible tension between the president and some individuals in the state, particularly the governor. He then pleaded for the president's mercy. In response, multiple sources reported that the president assured the room that all is forgiven and emphasized that he no longer held any anger towards anyone, including SanwoOlu. At this point, the governor and other GAC members showed their remorse by prostrating before the president in a gesture of apology and respect. A source familiar with the meeting told This Day that the gathering did not delve into the specifics of the issues between the president and the governor. Instead, the focus was solely on seeking forgiveness, which the president granted. Well, to provide more perspective on the reconciliation between President Tinubu and Lagos State Governor SanwoOlu, Arise News analyst Dayo joins us now. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure of being here as usual.
Now, if you could take a wild guess, I'd like to take this almost on your angle with when we saw the demise of the Pope and how he met with the Vice President, J.D. Vance. You said there might have been a connection with the discussion. So if you could take a wild guess in this context, what would you say was responsible for the...
Say that again.
Okay, when the late Pope met with J.D. Vance, you said that they had a discussion. That's the Vice President of the U.S., and that might have had something to do with his demise. So since you're good at spotting all these rare things that we miss, what do you think might have been the cause of this situation?
I think for once you have read me right. Yes, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
You see, this peacemaking is peacemaking at the S level, which normally will be in the inner circle in private, but it's being done publicly for obvious reasons.
Okay.
Because nobody ever thought there would be such a rift between SanwoOlu and Tinubu, because they were like father and son. So for it to break like that into the open, they say desperate diseases require desperate cure. That's what they have done. Now, as to the Vance and Pope's death. Okay, you know, the Pope died the day after Vance visited him. Yeah. And you know, this proclivity of the late Pope to want to accommodate, not to accommodate, but to be seen to be lenient towards LGBTQ people. And you know, the Trump government and Vance, they are totally anti-LGBTQ. And they are reversing all the gains they have made in the American political system. So I was just being loudly mischievous. I said, I don't know what he told the old man, that maybe this time around we are going to, the man died the following day. It's just my own way of thinking things out. That's all.
Okay, no problem.
Right.
All right. I would want to say that some would have said that the governor had nothing to lose because he wasn't running for re-election again. So he didn't need to cower, so to speak, because the point is, if the president decides not to be chummy with his political son, that's not the end of the world. Why is this a sticking issue? And what is there to be feared on the side of the governor?
That's a nice one. Actually, it's the governor who should answer your question. But I know the governor, and I know Bola Tinubu. And like I said, it's like a father and son situation. If you have a disagreement with your dad, and you feel strongly, but in your private moment, you won't be comfortable. You won't be comfortable. You will find a way or call on people, which was what he did. It was what he did. And let me tell you something. I don't have to say all I know about the two of them. When Tinubu started his political stewardship, when he was governor, and he left office after 2 terms, Fashola followed him. You see all these people who worked for him, even those in Mobile, when it was corporate life, he has never broken relationship with them. That is why you see he has network. He has never, even those, look, I knew him when he was maybe account manager at Mobile, and I was public relations manager at Union Bank. We used to eat in the same place on Live Street here. You see all his bosses there. His boss was Oluwakinyelure. They kept together. These are all professionals, you know, Mobile.
Yes.
Professional geologists, engineers. He kept faith with them. And SanwoOlu is a small boy to people like Oluwakinyelure now. So he has always been with him. I got to know them when Tinubu was launching a book, Financialism. And I was writing the column in The Nation. I wrote the column for them for 10 years without the cover because I loved the writing. They look at me, and I just want to call that Asiwaju has appointed you to be a member of the committee to launch his book. And I played that role. I got paid. SanwoOlu went on to be governor. The person was his press secretary, then was our sports secretary. You will know that one. Sunday Dari.
Yes.
They are all in government now. So he has kept it with his friends. So if there is a broken relationship, who will be alarmed? See this, go and say the people who...
Is that enough to demand his resignation?
Who has... No, you see, you are the one saying the news now. Maybe you know more.
Perhaps.
I don't think it will lead to resignation. Constitutionally, what is happening with them, between them, is personal. It's not constitutional. Get me? If the personal relationship were not so strong, it would descend into a, the Awolowo Akintola feud. True. But thankfully, it never got to that. So it's a happy ending.
Indeed, yes. Mr. Sobowale. Now, when you see the role that the Lagos APC leadership played in resolving this, do you think it's exemplary when it comes to disputes that we might see in the political space? We've seen how it could get a little messy, but this seemed to, like you said, it had a happy ending. So is there something worth learning from how this played out?
Yeah, a lot. And you see, I still refuse to believe that they say all those people, these elderly people, I know this that they frustrated, but I think that's an exaggeration.
Okay.
Some of them cannot, if they prostrate, they won't get up. They are elderly, well-respected people. But they wanted peace at all costs, and by all means, and they brokered it. But it was not strictly a Yoruba affair now. Look at the many people who intervened, who kept on, saying that, you don't see this sort of thing happen in broad daylight. You get me? And they did in broad daylight, where reportedly Tinubu snubbed his son, as it were. So I like the way it has ended. You were talking about if he had not done so. Yes, if he had not done so, yes, our side, it would have been like Akintola. That one led to a civil war.
Yes.
And we are still in it till today. Right.
All right. So now that all's well that ends well,
that's
as
right.
they say, what does this portend for APC in Lagos State 2027?
Okay. I see, that's a mischievous question. Because you know what happened to APC during the presidential election.
Because you know where I'm going to, because they said part of the rift stemmed from the fact that they lost Lagos State to the Labour Party.
You see, it's a human being. You never know. It could be that. But if it was that, it wouldn't have been settled. Because some mischief makers, drag the issue further, that the governor did not work for his father, but worked for his own. You get me? But I know the relationship between them. It's a very close personal relationship, and they trust each other. And the people Tinubu had left there, they have continued all the plans they are doing, they were made during this time, and they are implementing them. Not many states have that sort of continuity in terms of leadership, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of projects to execute politically.
Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you for your analysis. As always, Mr. Dayo, many thanks for joining us here on Newsday. Thank you.